Okay, so I've got things set up here for us to do the stitching of the cord and to fasten the tongue onto the body. And what I've done is I've got all the holes punched, and I've counted over 9 holes from the left hand side, and that's number 9 and that's number 10. So between the 9th and the 10th hole, I am going to put one stitch between there and the 9th and 10th hole, which is right in there, on the body. So I'm going to stitch those two pieces together there. Okay, so what I'll do is to get everything set up properly, what you need to do is to get your fixed points. Okay, so obviously your ankle is going to be a fixed point. So I'll put a clip there. And I'll put a clip on this side. Okay, then the distances all the way along to the first D-ring here are also going to be fixed. So we can also put a clip right there. And the same on the other side. I'll just add a couple more just to keep it from moving. Now if we have some foreseen reason that we are not able to use up all of this fabric in this distance, we will be able to take a little bit up in between the D-rings. But our purpose is to use up all this fabric in this distance up here. Okay, so we've got our fixed points. Then we'll take our fabric, bring both the toe and the body up together. Okay, so that's between the 9th and the 10th hole. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip it off there just to make it a little bit easier to handle. Then I've got some thread that I've made up, and I put it on the needle here. And what I do, I go in about 1/4 of an inch, and I go right straight through. Okay, get your thread on one side to come all the way through, turn around, and go back again. It doesn't have to be very far away, it'll anchor it here. That's what we're doing at this point, is we're adding another anchor point. Now after you've done a number of pairs of these moccasins, you may not need to put this anchor point in, but for your first pair I would recommend putting it in. Okay, tie a knot in it. and then trim off the excess. And this can be removed later if it's an issue. Okay, now we need to take our cord. Now on the last video I put the needles in, but I forgot to mention the length of the cord. The total length of the cord is 60 inches. Okay, and that will give us enough room to go all the way to the top, and with a couple inches left over. Okay, so let's start off with the 10th hole. Okay, so I'm going to go through the 10th hole here. And there. Okay, and then take your cord and find center, so that we've got equal cord on both sides. Okay, and that looks about it right there. Then take your cord, lay it over, and take a clip and clip it off so that it's out of the way there. Okay, so now we're going to be able to begin stitching the cord up. Okay, so go on to the next. Let's see. Well, we'll put our first loop in. Okay, so what you do is take your fabric, push it over just a little bit, like that. Okay. I should have done this first. Okay, go to your next hole. So that would be number 11. Okay, so that's what we're looking like. I like to use a pliers, although you don't have to. Grab your fabric, push the two holes over top of each other, and then grab the cord, pull it tight. Okay, now the same with this one here. In fact, this one should be over there. These will all be able to, if there's any problems, you will be able to correct them, because you'll be reworking the cord just to even everything out afterwards. Okay, and then we pull it tight. And don't pull it overly tight, otherwise the toe is going to be too small. And then put a clip in it. Okay, go on to the next one. And we made our holes. The toe was 3/8 of an inch. The body was 3/4 of an inch. If you had smaller thread, or you wanted to add additional loops, you could go with, let's say, 1/4 inch in the toe and 1/2 inch in the body. That way you'll get more stitches in here, and just depending on the look that you want it to have. Okay, so grab it again. Pull the two holes so that they're one over top of the other. Grab the cord and pull it tight. And I usually take a second clip, and then I work the clips back and forth as I go along. Okay, then you can take the, oh, I'm going to leave that one there as well. I'll just use a new one. So you can see what in fact we're almost at the end already. You can see what we're doing here. We've got this much fabric that we have to use up in this distance. Okay, so we got another 2 or 3 holes to do, and when we're this far we should have used up all this excess material, and then we can put our holes equal distance apart at about a 1/2 inch spacings. Okay, so we'll just see how that goes. Grab the fabric, push it over, line the 2 holes up, and then pull the cord tight. Okay, so we're up to our first D-ring here. Now you can see on the fabric here that the distance where the D-ring is installed is quite a bit lower than the top of the moccasin. And the reason for that is that so that the cord stitching can be installed above the D-ring. Okay, so that's why they are installed with the top at the top of the fabric. So that is the reason to keep the D-rings down a little bit lower. Okay, now you can see here that we are pretty well, unless something slipped here. We're getting close to having used up all of our fabric. Okay, so that means that we don't have to take up any more of the excess fabric there, and that what we can start doing now is to have equal distances between the holes, so that each one would be about a ½ inch difference. There's we've got 2 more holes left, and because we've already used up the necessary material, what we're going to do is we're going to punch holes in between the 2 that are already there. There. So now we can just start stitching them up. Okay, so we've run out of holes on our tongue here now, and we've got 2 holes left on the body of it. And then after that we'll make them each one about an equal ½ inch apart. Okay, well, before I go any further with the holes, I want to get our trim, our ankle trim set up the way that it's going to be installed. Okay, so we open it up and give it a turn. Okay, so line our two edges up. This part can take a little bit of fooling around with to get them exactly the way they should be. So just take your time and check everything often. Okay, so we're getting close there. What I'll do in a little bit is to put one more D-ring right in the middle here so that our laces will come up and go through the D-ring, and then use the cord lock right in that position right here. But for now we can carry on. I think we got enough here that it's going to be close enough that we can keep on doing our cord. Now here's one thing that I have done in the past. And that is to carry on doing the stitching right into the ankle. Okay, so it's more just as a decorative stitch, and that would be to punch holes on each side of that, and continue on doing it that way. And I think that I'm going to do the same thing. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this one two separate pieces. Okay, so once I get it this far, then, like I said, I can continue it all the way up, but I can also use a second piece of polyester or nylon cord and go up there. And I think that that's what I'm going to do. So to finish this off, what I do is I weave it in this way. Or first of all, I go through it once here. Okay, so I make a double loop up at the top, and you could tie a knot in there if you wanted to, and that's not a bad idea. And then work it back through here. And then once everything is tightened up and you've got it all where you want it, I just give it a little dab of crazy glue in one or two spots there, and that'll hold it all together. So that's the way that I do it. And once you get up to the ankle part here, you've got a whole variety of options that you have that you can design for yourself. I'm going to continue on doing this side, and then after I look at it a little bit more, I'm not going to cut this and I'm not going to do anything with it in case I change my mind and decide to take the stitching all the way up to the top. And just looking at it now, I think that that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie it off here and fasten it here, so this will be an anchor point, and then I'll punch holes. It'll be about 6 holes, and then I'll go back and forth through here. And so these ones will just be decorative, but I think it'll look good like that. Then the D-ring goes on there, and then we run it through our fur yarn sewing machine to finish it off, and put the laces in, and then that's going to be just about it. Oh, to do this back tab up here for the reinforcing on the heel. So right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this side off, and then I'll come back and we'll discuss what to do with the ankle.